Wholesalers, 2025 has been an incredibly difficult year. Competition is an absolute bloodbath right now. Deals are sitting on the market way longer, shrinking your profits, especially your average assignment fee or your profits on flip. And more importantly, your cost per lead is going through the roof and quality is at an all-time low. One of the biggest reasons this is happening is because of Facebook's new Andromeda update. So in this video, we're going to talk exactly about what this Facebook Andromeda's update is, how it's affecting your lead flow and your lead quality, and more importantly, what we're doing behind the scenes for our clients to get around this and actually use it to our advantage. So with that said, I have my iPad. Let's dive straight into it. So let's talk about what Facebook defines as its Andromeda update. So the way Facebook defines it is a proprietary machine learning system designed for retrieval and ad recommendation focused on delivering a multi-step function improvement in value to our advertisers and people. Sounds complex, it doesn't really make sense, but let's break it down in simple terms, right? Because if we want to solve something, we have to understand what the constraint is. So how I break it down is it's simply an update that Google made that enables them to select the best ads out of millions of ads on the platform and feed it to the right person that is most likely to convert if their interests, behaviors change by the minute. So let's go to the graph and see what this actually is. That way you can have a visual representation. So on the left here, there's going to be a user request, right? So this is when somebody walks into the app, starts scrolling, starts typing things in. It's just a user input. From there, the next step is an ad corpus. The easiest way to explain this is basically a database of all the ads on the platform. Then there's the HAI, right? I'm not going to try and pronounce this entire thing, but we'll just refer to it as a HAI. And what this is it's a sorting system that Facebook has. That way it doesn't have to scan millions of ads at once to present it to the right user. So the way it works is it has all the ads up here. Let's change the color. So that's all the ads up here. And then it sorts them into buckets, right? So you have your purple bucket, you have your black bucket, and then you have your blue bucket. Think of each bucket as a specific interest or a category. So you have, let's say, your plumbing ads, your real estate agent ads, you have your real estate motivated seller ads, and then maybe you have like an e-commerce ad, right? So these are all those groups that your ad will fall into. And Facebook uses its AI and NVIDIA's Grace Hopper platform to actually identify where your ad falls into. And then from there, it goes to the model. And the entire purpose of this part is to rank the ads within the ad index to find the most relevant ads based off of three main pillars. So it wants to know what the best creative is, which ad is projected to get the best results based off of their data set, and what ad is most relevant to the user. And then from there, once it selects what ad is most relevant to the user based off their interest, what they click on, what they engage with, it would have ad candidates. And those are the ads that get presented to you. So the entire name of this game is to produce the most amount of ads that are the best quality. That way Facebook can present them to the right person, right? So one thing that's really important to understand with Facebook and Andromeda update as a whole is that they don't care about your budget, your location targeting, your messaging, none of that. They don't care about your landing page. They just care about what ads is going to benefit the user the most. Because if it benefits the user the most, they're going to continue scrolling, stay on the platform a lot longer. And when the users stay on the platform a lot longer, Facebook makes more money, right? So they're incentivized to put the best ads in front of you. So what do we look for? What do I look for to understand that we're moving in the right direction and using Andromeda's to our advantage at least, right? Two big things I look for is ad quality and relevance. That's what I care about. So the way I do that is off of hook rate. So people have many different terms for this. A common one is scroll stop rate. So, out of 100 people that are scrolling, how many of them actually stop, right? What percentage of people actually stop and watch your ad or engage with your ad, whatever the case is. For me, anything above 18%, 15 to 18% is a sweet spot for me, right? Unique outbound CTR. CTR is click-through rate if you don't know. There's another metric where it's just click-through rate itself, and there's also cost per click. I like to go a step further and look at the cost per unique outbound clicks, right? What is the outbound CTR? And the way I understand this is outbound CTR or outbound link clicks are basically new people who have just found out about you. Because if it's a retargeting ad or you're seeing your ad for third, fourth, fifth time, it's cool. But at the end of the day, for me, we are advertising to cold traffic, not only for our B2B, for agencies to get clients maybe like you, or ads for motivated sellers. We want to be targeting new people, right? Because that's how we maximize our marketing dollars, especially on cold traffic, top of funnel marketing. We'll talk about middle funnel, bottom of funnel targeting later. But for now, we're just talking about top of funnel. So the old meta or the old style is running generic We Buy Houses ads. And if you scroll back 6, 8, 9 months, you've noticed that I have been preaching this and we have been doing this for over a year now. And it's funny because now in November of 2025, people are starting, other agencies more specifically, are starting to dive into targeting specific motivation and pain points to generate motivated sellers, which is interesting, but they're about a year late, right? So that's the old meta. They're finally snapping out of it. The new meta adds targeting specific motivations and pain points, right? So people going through foreclosure, people who can't make their mortgage payments, tired landlords, divorces, relocations, things of that sort. Because when we have different motivations, we can create on top of that, and you're going to see this here in a second, different variations, which I'll break down as an ad kaleidoscope here shortly, right? So that's the old meta. The new meta is running ads targeting specific motivations and pain points. And for each motivation, you're going to have multiple different variations, right? So you're going to have like 3 foreclosure ads, 3 divorce ads, 3 inherited property ads, 3 ads about, people who can't make their mortgage payments, right? And we send those to Facebook to have them test it and present the best ad to the right person. That's how we win in a nutshell. So another reason why, going back to the point, why cost per leads and the lead quality has been drastically affected with this Andromeda update is that many people have poor feedback loops, specifically to Facebook. So what I mean by this is a lot of people are optimizing for the wrong metric. They're optimizing for cost per lead instead of, in this case, cost per marketing qualified lead, right? A lead at the end of the day is defined as somebody you just contact, right? So if somebody gives you their name, their phone number, they're technically a lead, right? But for me, we want marketing qualified leads. So how many marketing qualified leads or workable leads or negotiable leads, whatever you want to call them, can we actually get into the pipeline to actually work and close, right? For me, I define a MQL as a lead who has a specific motivation, needs to sell within a specific time frame, property that qualifies in the sense where they're not upside down on their property, as that's not something that we do, and has a realistic asking price, right? So it's pretty much based on the 4 pillars: motivation, timeline, property, fill, asking price. So that's what I define as an MQL. And what we want to do with this is we want to send this data back to Facebook to train their AI, in this case, Andromeda, and offline the Pixel, as to what's working and what's not. That way you can get a more consistent flow of qualified leads. So here's what this a funnel, if you would, looks like. So at the very top right here, we have Facebook, right? Facebook produces a lead. So it goes over here, it produces a lead, which is somebody you can just contact. Most agencies are like, oh, how can I get the lowest cost per lead? And they stop right there. And what happens as when they stop is that they're giving Facebook positive reinforcement that what they're doing, what is being presented to them, the leads that are coming in is working, it's good. Just get me more. So Facebook will go out of their way and focus on, cool, how can I just get this guy more leads? Not quality, just volume of leads. And then from there, obviously the lead goes to your CRM, and then you work it and you complain to your agency or whoever you're working with that the leads suck, and then you leave them and then you never talk to them again. And then it's just this never-ending vicious cycle. It sucks. You probably been part of it. Anyways, so that's version 1. Version 2 is it goes to your CRM. There's an MQL filter, right? It could be conditional logic within your landing page. It could be special, automations or whatever, set up AI filters set up in your CRM, or it could be a lead manager. And let's say the action or trigger to determine that a lead is an MQL is moving a lead from new lead to qualified lead in your CRM, right? And what you could do is you could set up a webhook where it could take that data and just send it back to Facebook to train their AI, and it's like, hey, this is a good conversion, this is a marketing qualified lead, get me more of this. That's what you need to do, because what it does is now you're optimizing for the most qualified leads as opposed to just volume of leads. And then over time, Facebook is going to get better and better, and they're going to optimize and look for people that fit your criteria, in this case, MQL, right? So the reason why people are failing is because they neglected that, which is why their campaign sucks. Bummer. So now that we talked about what it is and we identified what it is, sort of the quick run through of what it looks like and how it's affected your business, let's talk about actual solutions of how to get around this and how we use it to our advantage, right? So first thing I want to break down is there's three main pillars, right? There's a campaign structure. It's simple. You don't have to do all these fancy, ad sets and, 4 different campaigns. You don't have to do all that. I'll break it down right here and you just go run it yourself. Messaging, right? We just talked about this. Targeting specific motivations and pain points, and the ad kaleidoscope. Something I learned from Mosey that we take right now, and we're just doing multiple variations in order to scale. So we want simple structure, new messaging, variation of winners. What this looks like in a nutshell. On this box right here, this is a campaign. So a box symbolizes a campaign. Then we have lines. We want, in this case, depending on what your budget is, you can have anywhere from 2 to 5 ad sets, right? Ad sets are just groups of ad settings, right? So you're targeting whatever, right? And then in each ad set, you're going to have 5 different ads, which are these lines right here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So these ad sets can be, targeting different pockets of audiences, or you can even test the same audience 3 different times for 3 different audience pockets, right? This is a very common strategy that we do still to this day, right? Just the same interests, 3 different ad sets. And then on the ad level, we just have different ads. So each one of these ads can be a different motivation and pain point. So you can have your foreclosure, you can't make their mortgage payments, relocation, tax delinquents, inherited properties, and then they all have the same way. Now, you're not going to copy that exact same ad and do it for the second and third assets. You're going to change a variable. You're going to change the color of the headline. You're going to change the font. You're going to change maybe the image, the people on it. You just have to change a variable 3 times, right? Or in this case, just 2 extra times. So you're going to have 3 different variables. Hopefully that makes sense on the same ad, right? So I guess a better way I should have done it is I'll just change the color of these, right? So we'll have a red version of ads, and then we will have a green version of ads, right? So what this does is it creates so much volume that Facebook has so much options to determine what the best ad is to present to the user in this case. And as a result, once we find something that works, you'll know, because once you start to close deals, you just go back to the campaign, see exactly what's working, take that winner and do more of it, right? Change something else and blast it again, right? So that's basically what the campaign structure looks like, as well as the ad kaleidoscope. Now, the nail that I want to draw in, right? The nail in the coffin is that the volume of creatives with different concepts. If you take one thing away from this video, just take that away. Create a lot of ads that are different variations of the winner if you already have one. If you don't have one, the goal is to start and find a winner, right? Now, the issue with this is that creatives fatigue a lot quicker. So back then, you can run a creative for a month, 2 months, or if you really want to push it, 3 months. Now, you might have to go 2-3 weeks max of milking a creative and then having to innovate and run another creative, right? So that is something that's very important to keep in mind. And the final thing I want to add is what we use called a nomenclature, right? And what this is, it's basically a spreadsheet, and it helps us stay organized that you can implement or even create yourself into your business in order to track what ads are working, right? So if we zoom in right here, our hook is basically motivations, right? And then our CTA, you can have different things. I mean, you can have learn more, get a quote, get an offer, whatever the case is, right? So each ad has different, or each variable, I should say, has a different section. Your copy, right? So what copy or text does your ad have, right? There's so many filters, there's so many variables that you can adjust in your ad to make it more appealing to Facebook and the user. We want to use every single one of them. So we have our own ad copy, and just name it ad 1, 2, 3, simple, right? Same thing, headlines. David Ogilvy says that $80 of your advertising dollar is spent on your headline or your title. So That's something that we want to track. Format, is it a static? Is it a UGC? Is it a video? If so, who's it by? Things like that. Creative, it's not a video. This is just a quick identifier. So, on another page, you can have a spreadsheet with all the links to the drive and codes next to it. And then an extra variable, if there is one, right? So this is exactly what we use to fight Meta's Andromeda. Long story short, have your team create all the best possible ads targeting these specific messages right here, multiple variations. Basically, throw them at Facebook. Let Facebook tell you what is working. Run with it, right? You take the winner, do more of it. So that's pretty much all there is to Andromeda. I see a lot of people overcomplicating it. At least when I was watching, I definitely got confused as to what it was. So hopefully that makes sense as to why your Facebook campaigns or the agency you're working with that's probably running Facebook ads is not performing the way they used to. So with that said, my name is Ben. If you are an established real estate investor, you're closing at least 2 deals a month, ready to scale and not have to deal with Andromeda here, there should be a link in the description. Click it, schedule a call. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you and show you exactly how we're going to be able to help you scale. With that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.